The word that keeps coming up in the first reading is remain, or in another translation, abide. That the Lord invites us to abide in Him and to have Him abide in us. And so it says, when you heard let what you heard from the beginning remain in you. Now, at the beginning of this first letter of St. John, John is saying, what was from the beginning, what you heard, what we have seen with our eyes. What have we heard? That the word of life. Let that remain in us. If what you heard from the beginning remains in you, then you will remain in the Son and in the Father. And then it continues that the anointing that you have received from Him remains in you, so that you do not need anyone to teach you. Because, not that we don't need teachers, but rather that we'll have an experience of the Lord, which transforms us from the inside out. So the Lord invites us to let Him remain in us so that we can remain in Him. So we come to Mass and we receive the Word with our ears. We receive communion with our bodies. And the Lord invites us to say, I want to remain in you. I want this word that I speak to you not just to be alive for you here in the church. I want this Eucharist that I give to you not just to be alive for you when you are here in this church, but as you go out, I want to remain with you. I want to remain with you. Do we allow God to stay with us? Do we allow Him throughout the day? Now, we can't always be in front of the Blessed Sacrament in the tabernacle or in adoration. We have other things to do. Our vocations require us to leave the church and do other things, as do the rest of our bodies, because we need to eat, we need to sleep, we don't really want you sleeping in church unless, it's... I know maybe part of your adoration hour or something like that, you might start to nod or something like that. But still, we don't want you taking a pillow and lying down in the pews. It's not really appropriate. But we're called, though, to allow God to remain in us, to be in the presence of God throughout the day. That maybe as we're beginning a specific work, we can say, okay, God, help me to recognize how you are present here in this moment. When we're struggling through this part or that part of our lives, we can say, okay, God, I recognize that you are here. That we want Him, the God that we encounter through the Scriptures, through the Eucharist, in our baptism, in our confirmation. We want to become aware that He is here so that He can remain in us and we can remain in Him.